Okay, hi, welcome back. My hair is giving Oompa Loompa chic today, so we're gonna let that live, let that breathe. Of course, I've got my little drinkity pinkity today. She's water, per usual. And I owe you guys, I owe you an update, a long overdue update on the whole fertility sitch. My lips are bothering me, so I'm gonna put them on while I talk to you guys. If you're just joining, hi, hey, hello, welcome. I am 28 years old. I'm 28 years old, I live in Los Angeles. I am turning 29 this year. I basically decided, I didn't decide actually, on accident, I started to learn a lot more about my fertility and kind of had like, I don't want to call it like a fertility scare, but I definitely learned a lot of information by mistake about my fertility at the end of 2024. And why I say by mistake is to get you up to speed. There's this company, it's called Alara Health, and they actually popped up of all places on a TikTok ad. They popped up, I was very curious about it. I am the type of person, like, I fully trust modern medicine, but I also really try to lean into anything like holistic and natural when I can. So this company had popped up and they ran a blood panel. When they ran the blood panel, they were like, oh, by the way, do you want to have kids? Because your numbers are crazy low. And I was like, wait, what? And anyways, I'm sorry, I can't focus. If I have socks on, I'm overstimulated. So that led me down an unexpected rabbit hole of trying to learn more about my fertility. Am I infertile, question mark? Like, do I have eggs left? Am I gonna have a hard time having kids? Am I gonna have to do IVF? Like, do I need a surrogate? What does all this mean? Because genuinely, I knew nothing. And I think it was something like in the back of my mind. As women, we all, and definitely like from the comment section of my last video, a lot of you guys were like, I can totally relate to the impending doom that is being in your late 20s, early mid 30s, whatever it is, and that ticking time clock that like we all know is there in the back of our mind, but there's not much we can do about it, especially if like you're not in a relationship or financially in a place to have a child, whatever it might be. So anyways, I think I was at a place where I was very much looking for like a sign. I was looking for a sign to know like, is it time to like, do I want kids now? Do I want kids, period? And the answer was resoundingly yes, because going through this experience kind of forced me to think about that. And I was like, you know what? I do want kids. I love kids. That's something that I want to be a part of my life. And it wasn't until exploring all of this information that I definitely was like, wow, this solidified for me. This is something that I want. So that being said, I realized that this healthcare company, while I really trusted them, they were fantastic in providing me a lot of information. I wanted to, number one, do my own research, which is what led me to learning on Reddit of all places that vitamin D might artificially be showing low AMH numbers, which I'll put on the screen what AMH is just to get you up to speed if you didn't watch my other video. So my AMH number is kind of what sent me on this journey, because that is the number that came back super low. So there's actually another creator that I really like based in San Diego, and I remembered she went to this place. Her name is JC Marie Smith. I'll have her channel down below. She went through a whole fertility journey, and I remembered that she went to this place called Kindbody. And Kindbody, this is not sponsored, I had a really positive experience with. And the reason that I decided to end up exploring Kindbody is because they offered something called, what did they call it? Like a pulse assessment is what I think they called it. And it's only $99, which is bananas. What on earth can you get medically done for $99? It was a flat rate, and they would test your AMH, but most importantly, or more importantly, they would do a ovarian ultrasound. Is that right? It's an internal ultrasound, vaginal ultrasound, where they would basically show you, and I will show you my situation in a minute, show you your ovaries and all of the different follicles. Again, I'm learning so much about all of this. So it's my understanding that basically, depending, you want to see each ovary has a certain number of follicles. And I believe that the follicles is what the egg implants to or attaches to. So less follicles, less chance of the egg implanting. Is that correct? I'll put more clarification on the screen. Again, I'm not a medical expert. I am just a girl trying to learn more about the things they don't teach us in school. So that being said, I had 6 follicles on one ovary and 7 on the other. So that is a total of 13 follicles, which I believe the doctor was like, it's fine. Like, it's fine. It's not terrible. It's not amazing. Like, it's a good number to have. I'm like, okay, I feel okay about that. She did say I had a cyst, which I thought was interesting, but she was not concerned at all about the cysts. She said they're actually quite normal. They can go away. They can rupture on their own, I guess. But I do want to put the footage for you, kind of show you the experience at Kindbody. So I'll roll that tape here, just showing you like inside Kindbody. And then I asked the doctor when she was showing like my actual follicles on the ultrasound to kind of talk through it so I could have her explain it to you guys versus moi. So let's go ahead and roll that footage now.
lighter gray area here, that's your endometrial lining. So it's nice and thick right now because you're probably had just ovulated.
Okay.
That's probably what that cyst is from your ovulation.
Okay.
So it's nice and thick. Assuming you do not become pregnant, this will break down and shed, and that's when we menstruate.
Got it.
And so over yonder, here, this is your right ovary.
Okay.
So you see those little black circles in there? Those are the follicles.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Cute.
Oh, I see.
Right? And then over here, this is the left ovary, and then that's that cyst.
Okay.
But it's probably an area where it does look big on ultrasound.
Okay.
It's not really that big, but it does look big. I'm also zoomed in. But you can see there's like little tiny little follicles right here adjacent to it.
Okay.
Yeah. Looking good.
Okay, that's good.
And that's pretty much it. All this is like empty space in your pelvis. Is
So
gas,
interesting.
bowel. That's your bladder. Nothing.
What was the thing you said in the beginning about it? Was tilted, what did you call it?
Retroverted.
Retroverted.
Yeah. So just like backwards, essentially.
Guys, see the squeezy thing she had me hold? A little bit dirty. We did the blood work for the AMH level, and then they called me a couple days later with that. So the drum roll, exciting news is that my AMH skyrocketed. So the doctor was actually thoroughly impressed with my research. She was like, wow, I've never heard of, like, you must have been right. Like, maybe it was your vitamin D that was artificially showing your AMH level super low. She was like, I've never heard of this. And she also told me she had never seen an AMH jump up so dramatically, which then of course I was like, okay, well, is it false? Like, I hope not. But she basically told me that she had no concerns about, you know, me trying for a child, and that gave me so much ease because I genuinely felt like what was frustrating me most about this experience of like learning more about my fertility was that I felt like the universe was deciding for me. Like, it was either you have to have kids now, or like you're not gonna be able to, or you're gonna have a hard time, or it's gonna cost you all this money. And I hate that feeling. I'm such a control freak. I'm such a type A person. I am so but like I plan things out, and like I really struggle when things don't like follow course. And so I feel like that part of it was really weighing on me, that I was like, I don't like not feeling in control. But that being said, I am so incredibly relieved that I went through this experience. Number one, so I could share it with you guys and hopefully help someone else out there who's feeling, you know, anxiety about their age, impending doom, time clock, whatever. But also because this is information that every woman deserves to know about their body. And it's unfortunate that like you really have to seek it out, or hear from another friend, or go on places like YouTube to learn more about it. And I wish that more people talked about it, because this is something that we should regularly, you know, when you turn, I don't know, 25 or 30, like this is something that our gynecologist should be bringing up to us, and mine never has. And I've only ever learned about this stuff because I've seen stuff on Instagram where people talk about it, like the girl, JC Marie Smith, that I mentioned. The cool thing about Kindbody, and I would love to work with them perhaps in the future, this video is not sponsored by them, but because my experience was so great, I did want to tell you guys, and I'll put on the screen. It appears they have locations nationwide, which is fantastic. So that $99 pulse assessment, I highly recommend if you are feeling any sort of interest or anxiety around this topic and you just want to see your numbers and get an ultrasound of your follicle count, go ahead and check that out. I will tell you, with the ultrasound, I was a dum-dum. I had no clue that the ultrasound was going to be internal. I was thinking it was gonna be like in the movies where they put the gel on your belly and they like move a camera around. I was wrong. I did not know that it was going to be a very long, maybe like this long stick that was going to go up, and she was gonna move it around. It was fine. It didn't hurt. Like, it was as kind of, if you've ever gotten any sort of exam, ultrasound, or not ultrasound, any sort of exam at a gynecologist, it was similar to that. So not to fear or scare you, but just so you know, because I was very shooketh. And the doctor was like very surprised because I brought Matt with me, of course. He was like, he sat at like the chair at kind of, there was like a chair across like at the end of the like bed. She was like, wow, like a front row seat. And I'm thinking, what? To like look at my stomach? Like, who cares? And then I was like, oh, yeah, okay, good to know. Mentally, where I'm kind of at, just to get you up to speed there, is, you know, I am getting older, and I am fully aware of that. Am I here saying I'm like some geriatric patient? No, but the reality is I feel more informed about my decisions and my future, and I'm very grateful for that. And I think that something I learned, if you're new here or just joining my channel, hi, one of my first jobs out of college was I worked at Lush Cosmetics, and then I got recruited to work in medical sales. And when I worked medical sales, one of the most jarring parts of that job was learning how vulnerable patients are when they are experiencing anything doctor facing or medical facing, because you're really in a position where you need information, you need help, you need surgery, you need medication, whatever it might be, and you are at the mercy and knowledge of the medical professionals you surround yourself with. And I think that I learned from that job, women in particular, because I sold women's health testing and swabs and all that, have to be their own best advocate. And I researched on Reddit, of all places, from other women. I wanted to know, was there anything I could do? And if it wasn't for me doing that, I wouldn't have possibly gotten that higher AMH level to know that I am in fact okay to like try for kids on my own and all this stuff. I guess why I'm saying this is I want to validate anybody who might be feeling crazy or insane for going through this. And I feel like whenever I go down these rabbit holes, I am such a people pleaser that I'm like, I don't want people in my life to think I'm some like hypochondriac, or I'm, you know, researching too much, or maybe I'm thinking too much into this, or I'm young, so it's fine. I just want to validate anybody who is feeling any sort of those feelings, whether you're single, whether you're trying, whether you're just thinking about kids in the future, whether you're like, oh wow, I'm turning 29 next year, like this would be interesting to know. You are deserving of the information that as much information as you can learn about your body, do it, is what I'm saying, and you're deserving of that. I hope through my channel I can continue to share. I'll be honest with you, I'm not this like perfect, pretty, aesthetic vlogger who's gonna sit here and put these like gorgeous transition videos together for you, but what I do love is I love talking, and I love talking with you guys, and that is sort of my love language. I could talk to a wall, and I feel like one thing that I continually keep coming back to with like me and my life and my goals is that I feel like I have so much in this body of mine that I just want to like get it out, and I hope I can do that through my content. This is a very vulnerable topic, but for me it was critical to authentically share it as best as I could, because I think that if it weren't for content like this, number one, the internet gets to be a place where it's just highlight reels, and you see, for example with this topic, pregnancy announcements, people getting pregnant on the first try. You watch a TV show and it's like they go to a party, have a hookup, and they're pregnant, and you're like, what? Again, like I said, information's gold, talking with others is gold, and I love chatting with you guys. So just know when you come to my channel that if you leave a comment, I always do my best to reply to every single person. That goes for my Instagram as well, that goes for anywhere. I'm so incredibly grateful for all of you, and please let me know what you want to hear from me next. By the way, how cute is my jacket? She's so cute. But I have to go to dance class, so thanks so much for joining, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.